Let me also share the window with you guys. Sorry, I have too many windows open, so share the window. Okay, excellent. So we get started, okay? So that being said, my first step, I'm going to actually open, let's say, our Studio Cloud, okay? Every time I say my credentials here, or maybe I just use Google, my Gmail credentials login. You already signed up last time. This time, I'm just going to log in with your credentials. There are 2 ways for you to log in, usually, maybe 3 or 4 ways. My recommended way is to always log in with Google, because you are more likely to forget a password. If you save your Gmail credentials, it's easy, right? So I'm going to log in with my GitHub. That's, the website for me to host my repositories. Repository means, let's say I have some syntax or code I developed for my project. I want to show it to the whole world. So people, can come to my page and they notice, this is something open source. We can learn from each other. Open source means, people learn from each other. People help each other learn, okay? So I'm going to log in with GitHub. And as in, let's say you want to see a pop-up page, which is the same if you log in with Google. Exactly the same process, okay? Now I'm going to have, new project. As in here, new R Studio project, okay? New R Studio project. Again, I'm still even using the free version. You don't need to worry about, reaching the time limit, okay? But basically, when you finish the work, make sure you log out, probably, because I think you can only use a free one, let's say, for up to 15 hours or maybe 30 hours. I mean, there's a turnaround strategy. Maybe you just change a different Gmail account, then you can use additional 15 hours, right? Basically, I don't think you need 15 hours for this course. Okay, anyway, so you see, very straightforward. File, as in new file, right? It's not the first option. I'm going to tell you briefly later on, because first option is for you to do some real-time coding. So now why do we use the 5th option, which is R Markdown? Because we want to publish our analysis as a web page. So people can come to see my workflow. What is workflow? Workflow means, your grandma she has very limited knowledge in data science and marketing. She can come to this page and read, okay, what is Diane doing? And why does it make sense? What's the difference between marketing and data science? What's something that connects these 2 domains together? Okay, so now I'm going to use R Markdown. Again, if you want to do, basic online publishing for any data science project, this is one of the best options, because you see, just for this yes button here, you click, you're going to install up to 20 packages, which will facilitate your online publication process for free. And which is awesome, because many times, Excel is even not for free. Excel is even not for free. You pay the license fees up to maybe $15 per year, which is cheap, right? But this is free. This is free, guys. And but if you get addicted, let's say you use more than 15 hours per month, then it's not for free, okay? So do not get addicted. So that being said, again, so you can drink some coffee, come back. First step, always click OK as a user. And try to look at what their templates look like. Usually template looks like this, okay? The white space as in a shaded area. Shaded area is the area which you are going to do some real coding. Usually from line to 7 to 9, you don't need to change it, because that's just a formal notation for you to publish our Markdown page to a website, which is ourprops.com. And then here, 17 to 19, which is this original template, shows you, let's say, which data set I'm going to use, Jose, and also which analysis are you doing, which graph are you drawing, why do you even do this? Now, let's say you can pretty much, if you want to erase anything, the whole thing, when you use my template, or just erase, anything from 11 to 29. But, since this is the beginning, we just erase the whole thing. And then start with my template, because my template has at least a title there, right? And make a copy. We try to adapt and make some minor changes. some minor changes. You know, you are going to create your own project, not from scratch, by using a template. Okay. So basically, you see here, make sure don't leave any space, sir, guys. If you leave a space, you see here, the title becomes white, changes to white color. This title section, why? Because it's not going to work. This one line space will fail you miserably. You don't know why, you don't know what happened. You don't need to figure out why. You just need to make sure you follow the suggestion. You see, when I leave that space, then the characters here are going to be black color. That means something not working. If you follow my tutorial, you know, it's always, let's say, if you type you know, let's say a word, a sentence, it's going to be green color in the title section, especially also quotation mark, right? Title, author name. So now this time I'm going to let you change something. Let's say Jose, I think, you know, MKTG 6,000 or 4,000, right? And taught by, right? Because your employer may ask you, how did you do this, right? So maybe, you know, you don't want to tell him that, you know, you use ChatGPT or Google search, right? You want to tell him that you took a class, right? And maybe for advanced things, you can say, okay, two additional classes from somewhere. So this is like evidence. You tell employer you learn something. This is evidence, which is accessible by employer as well, because you can probably showcase this on your resume. Add one line, rpops.com/your name, my portfolio, okay? My project portfolio, okay? A project portfolio 1, 2, 3, okay? XYZ. So now, you know, you can actually now change the date, right? This is not October, so January 01, right? And let's say 29, right? And 2025, right? It's HTML document output, right? Don't change that. Make sure keep a quotation mark for those three sections, okay? So now don't change anything, okay? Don't change anything. Move to line 20. Now see here, we read this data set from my GitHub website. You see, this is my username on my GitHub website. You can go to that website, and that gives an overview, you know, what's going on, right? And let's go to that website. I think last time we go to that website, it was extremely slow. It's because of me. I think I opened too many windows, but that's okay. I hope you can open it today. Still slow. That's okay. I think I guarantee, you know, you can open it from your place if you didn't open too many, you know, windows. Okay, guys, now this is a critical part. So you click, you know, you actually push the enter key on your keyboard, and then you can type. Now it's okay to type, or maybe just copy this line. Which line? Line 24. Copy line 24, which is a plot function. You know, it's like plain English language. You want to draw a plot, right? What's a plot? Plot between Y and X. What is Y? Sales. What is X? TV. And tilde means, you know, equals 2. Okay? Beta X, right? Y equals to beta X. And then what's the name of the data set? Data set equals to add sales. What is the name of the data set? We define this data set here. Add sales, add underscore sales. Now, since we already read the data set, we don't need to read it again. We just copy line 24 and paste it here. And then, you know, we can change it to, you know, let's say the variable name, okay? The variable name. What's the variable name? I think if you look at the verb name, I think it's going to be radio, okay? This is also, you know, something important. Whenever you name a variable, you want to make sure it makes sense, right? When you change the verb name, you know, you can easily remember, right? And double check. So variable name is going to be radio, okay? It's going to be radio. Okay, now the last part. This part sounds, you know, a little bit challenging. And I think now, you know, you want to, let's say, you know, now you want to probably keep this part. Now I'm going to slow down. I'm going to copy line, from line 20 to line, let's say 27, okay? You can make a copy, or maybe just copy this. Copy line 27. Oh, no, 20, sorry, line 20. Copy line 20. Forward ticks, these forward ticks instead the dots, okay? Copy these forward ticks and paste it on line 30 or 31. It doesn't matter. See, when you copy here, it changes the color. That being said, this is shaded area, you're doing some coding. Now copy these 3 forward ticks again, which is line 27, forward ticks. Okay, I even don't know why. This is just how they define the coding chunk. Now you are doing some real-time coding, leave some space in between. Now you are doing some coding in between, which is so nice because when I was a beginner, nobody told me why I'm supposed to do coding in the coding chunk, and I made mistakes. And I suppose you made some mistakes of some miserable mistakes as well. So that's just a part of the process, okay? So now line 32. Now, again, we don't want to start from scratch, okay? We just do some Google search. Google.com, or maybe, I think at this stage, I don't suggest that you use ChatGPT because many times, it's probably not even, allowed or legal, right? So let's say I'm going to actually ggplot, and I want to go back to my question. What do I ask for? Let's say I want to, draw a graph, okay? Not a random graph, okay? Not a random graph. Let's say I'm going to come to this book, which we introduced a few minutes ago, okay? So we want to find one of these graphs which makes sense for our analysis. And then we want to replicate this graph for our project. So what do? There are 2 different ways. First way, you just come here, briefly copy this, syntax here, because you can definitely copy it, and also it's stuff illegal, and you're not doing writing project. And so here, let's say I'm going to actually, draw a graph, which will look like, one of these graphs on this book. And I'll show you, okay? I'll show you one of my favorite graphs, or maybe, you decide which graph you want to draw. And then come to this, reference book, okay? Reference book. This is a book named Practical Data Science with R. If you go to a library website, this is pretty much like a chapter 3, section 3.2, okay? Section 3.2. Okay, guys. See, I like this graph. You guys can choose different graphs. Let's say I'm going to draw a histogram, okay? And this guy already showed me a syntax. It's okay if I just copy this one. But I just don't want, copy from this library website. I like Google's better, okay? I'm going to go to Google. I can even let Google tell me what I need to copy, okay? I want to slow down. So I want Google to tell me how to draw a ggplot using ggplot2 package, which is ggplot2 and histogram. Google knows what, when I enter HIS, Google knows what I want to do. Not the first reference or the second one, it doesn't matter. Let's just go to a first one, okay? We assume the first one is good. Hey guys, now, let's say you come here, see these graphs. They're not necessarily hundreds of times better than Excel graphs, but at least, when you draw it, you explain what it is. You explain, differences between these categories, right? That's awesome because your manager is going to understand what's going on, right? Your boss is going to understand what's going on, okay? So But here, it seems that, these guys already made things a little bit too complicated, right? So you want to be careful when you use online resources. So since you are a beginner, basic example, you use a simplest example to help you get started. You see, this is why I recommend Data Camp, because they have the simplest example to help you get started without making your job too complicated, okay? So now I zoom this result with the best. Again, see my search query. ggplot2 histogram basic example. This is how you learn. You don't rely on anybody else, because at the end of the day, you are the only person who can help yourself for anything you want to learn. Like Elon Musk, you want to design rocket, find the best resource, design on your own. Maybe hire some smart engineers that as well. So basically, you can learn anything on your own. Okay, guys, you see basically here, they want you to make copies. You see, these guys are so nice. The copy, symbol here, or signal, okay? Legally make copies here. This website like you making copies. They can also explain to you using ChatGPT or AI software, okay? I don't want to click it because it takes me to probably just different page. But at this stage, I assume you already read something. We already read the data set, right? We don't need this chunk, right? We can skip this chunk. And then you see they want to show you the first six lines data set, you use head. Okay, this is something we can copy because my professor didn't teach me this. If my professor didn't teach me this, I want to take a look and see what's going on. See, this is now head, and then name the data set. What's the name of the data set? Add underscore sales. I try to slow down and make sure you can learn on your own, because your professor could be your enemy, okay? Your professor could be, unfair sometimes, and you can learn on your own. See, guys, this is why I recommend this website. Explanations, AI software, and also the simplest example for a beginner to get started, where even the copy signal is here. You don't need to highlight and then Control C, Control A, Control V, right? Confused. Copy here, copied. Then come here, guys. Now your graph will be ready. Congratulations, but no rush. We have enough time. So name the data set, be consistent, add underscore sales. Replace it with the original one, home underscore data. Aesthetics, so it's going to be X variable. Let's have TV, but you can show the result for radio, right? And now, let's say we want to see what's going on. We can save it and then, look at result, and then we can come back and do more changes, right? We don't want to publish, no rush, okay? You can publish multiple times. It just takes one click. Save the number one. See now, try to slow down. They want to install something. Definitely install or yes, right? And now, since it's working on something, I'm going to drink some water. I'll probably make more copies. Okay, I'm going to make more copies. I want to see what's going on. I just want to explore this new function. Okay, guys, you see last time we made a copy here, and then they told us this is useful, but it's not enough yet. You better make this copy. Seems too complicated, right? So now maybe two options. Maybe just make this whole copy here. Or maybe just make sure you copy the plus sign and also GM underscore histogram parentheses. Since you already made that change, we don't want to waste our time. We will just make that copy, okay? We will make, the plus, we will copy the plus sign and then the following line, GM histogram underscore histogram parentheses. Hey guys, we finish this step. Now we save it again. And then we need to document, okay? And, yeah, we did a horrible mistake, which is really unfortunate and makes you feel panic. See, error in ggplot, couldn't find function ggplot. It's not in the word, okay? So easy, okay, easy. Now, two solutions. If you want to follow me, you click packages. If you want to follow that tutorial, go back to that tutorial. I'm sure they explain somewhere. Click packages under, so here, okay, on this side, packages, install. So for some reason, they call ggplot2 instead of ggplot. You see here, they say I can't find a function ggplot, but this package is named ggplot2. You see, once you enter ggplot, nothing there, just use ggplot2. Okay, I'll just enter ggplot2. Click install. Wait for a few seconds while you are waiting. So here, enter one more line between 31 and 33. So now you need to repeat something. What's something you need to do? Library. You need to read the library. So this is why it makes your things 1,000,000 times easier, because you are using other people's library. This library or package allows you to make things easier. Library, let's just enter ggplot2. We need to make sure we read this library before we draw the plot. We also need to make sure we install the package before we read the library. So now 100% guaranteed, we will not get any errors. But we never get any errors miserably. Congratulations. That's the only moment you learn. So now save it and then click the neat button again. Okay, so this time we became lucky. It's because, we already did the homework, right? See, guys, we had two scatter plots, and then the third plot we did. Yeah, you got an error. Congratulations. Let me finish this part. I'll come to your seat. Okay. I'm gonna publish this, and I'll come to your seat. You see, this is how the syntax look like. And I'm going to actually now type here. This is the int of part 2 for my exploratory analysis. So now, I think now I'm going to make sure my professor can find my answers. How do I do it? You enter pound key here, a hashtag key. So question 1, and then XYZ. Okay, and then pound key again. Question 2, ABC. Okay, so now you see here, you can type your responses in the text chunk. Okay. Okay, and then maybe you can even add references. So let's say here, references will be for the future version of yourself, right? The references, and then, here, let's say 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, I'm gonna publish page, and then I'll try to come to your seat. I'll help you as much as I can. Click the neat button. We have 6 minutes. See here, let's say, definitely I've also tried to post my syntax, but I don't want you to copy my work, and because I want you to experience, some failure first. Sometimes you fail miserably, and then, you restart. So here, see here, this is ggplot. We read the first 6 lines of data set, right? And then, we finally draw the graph, okay? We finally draw this graph. It's a histogram. It does tell a story, but unless you tell us what's going on, we don't want, your manager probably don't want to interpret this graph. You have to tell what this graph means, okay? That's not probably one of the most important parts, okay? What does this really mean? I'm gonna publish this, and then I'll try to help you as much as I can. I click yes, and then, my suggestion, I suggest that you replicate all of the analysis in that chapter. And but it's a beginner semester. I don't want to give you a hard time. And I think if you really want to become expert, try to slow down, see if you can replicate all of the analysis in that chapter. And also, I think now let's say I just call something short EFA because we already did bivariate something. Let's do EFA. EFA 0. I already use 0, 1. I use 0, 2. Exploratory analysis. Okay. Maybe you can go back and change the title. Okay. So that being said, you see, we finished this analysis. Now you know you go back and type your responses, right? Now we have also part 2. You read the book, and then you type your questions and responses here for part 2. Part 1, you have to type your responses and answers here. Okay. Okay, so let me stop recording, and then I come back to your seat.